Let me talk about Abu Ghraib. This week there was an op-ed that ran by a man named Eric Fair, who was an interrogator at Abu Ghraib. He said, "I tortured and I can't be forgiven." There were examples in the report released by the Senate of CIA interrogators who said they couldn't take it anymore. They were near tears. What does that tell you?
Well, first of all, with this young man, I know he was scheduled to be on, but can't because of illness. Deeply moving commentary. A very articulate young man, and he's clearly carrying a burden perhaps that all of us have put on him by putting him in that situation.
An unfair burden?
In war. Well, Abu Ghraib, yes, because Abu Ghraib was indeed criminal activity. And I think it's really important to distinguish Abu Ghraib and what happened to the CIA detention facilities. Abu Ghraib was investigated by General Taguba. He came, trials were held.
Yes, and it is very different, but I'm talking about the interrogators. What it does to a person. You put CIA interrogators in that position as well.
I would be very, very disappointed if this did not take a human toll on our CIA interrogators. Because after all, although that person across the table from you was a terrorist, he's also a human being. I would not want people in the room doing this who were not affected by this.
But you support all of this. You support those so-called enhanced interrogation techniques, waterboarding, some of the other things in the report as well?
Well, actually,
you support
Martha,
them all and think they were successful?
Well, there's a difference. But let me parse each of those parts of the sentence out. They were successful. That's historical fact. Do I support them? With regard to waterboarding, I've made it very clear that I thank God I didn't have to make that decision. I had easier circumstances when I was director. By the way, Martha, I'm the one
but would you have made that decision?
I don't know, and I refuse.
So that's a way to not say I fully support or not support.
It depends on the totality of circumstances at the time. And by the way,
it doesn't depend on how a nation thinks about torture. It doesn't depend on whether, as critics of this are saying, this defines a nation, this defines who you are. It shouldn't depend on that?
Well, 3 out of the last 4 attorneys general have defined this as not being torture. So let's get the legal definition off the table. Now we're talking about a broader, perhaps national consciousness, a national sense of ethics. And here, Martha, we're making a choice between 2 very bad, very difficult choices. If we had not done this and a subsequent attack would have taken place, what would today's conversation be like?